Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Captain Sean Brown of the Education and Training Section. On behalf of the Police Commissioner, I would like to welcome you to the graduating ceremony of Class 2017-01.
Class, detail, ready, front!
The Star-Spangled Banner will be sung by Detective Nigel Rose, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Command, class, detail, ready, face! Present, who?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Order, who? Command, class, detail, ready, front! Uncover, two!
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will begin our ceremony tonight with an invocation from Police Chaplain Reverend Selwyn Ray.
You may bow heads. Oh, yeah.
We're going to have two prayers.
Okay, they said you were heads to the table.
Two prayers. Amen. Thank you for the covering that even happened where there are obviously two or more gathered in your name. We thank you for the fact that we have leadership on this stage in the form of a mayor, a very graceful and gracious and intelligent mayor, in the form of a newly minted police commissioner, again, graceful and gracious. But we ask one thing as we gather and even gently hear the chatter of children behind us, which remind us why we're here. We ask us to call on the Master of the universe to provide a spirit of unity, a spirit of togetherness, and an aggressive spirit of progress as we take this city to a new level of peace, prosperity, and of course, sanctity. We call on your name right now to begin this celebration of graduation as we move forward, but ask as we leave this place that we keep this prayer in mind, that we need your mercy right now, we call on your mercy right now, and we actually challenge ourselves to be obedient to your calling to unify and be one city. In your precious name we pray, O God, amen.
Amen. Command, class, detail, ready, seats. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
At this time, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the 50th Mayor of Baltimore City, Mayor Catherine Pugh.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, Major Roden, thank you for the introduction. And let me take a moment to acknowledge and congratulate our Commissioner Designee, D'Souza. Thank you for all that you are doing, and more importantly, for all that you will do. Let me also say, too, I think we have on the stage with us Councilman Brandon Scott, representing all of the council persons in our city. But is anybody else up here? No, okay. And to all the command staff and officers of the Baltimore Police Department, thank you all for being here as well. But let me also take a moment to thank all the family and the friends who are here, because I know that this graduation represents a milestone in the lives of the individuals who sit before us. But what I want you all to know, especially those who are graduating today, that you did not get here by yourself. There were family members, there were friends, loved ones who prayed for you every day, who hoped that you would reach this milestone. And while I attended your badge and gun ceremony, I am also grateful to be here today to watch you all graduate and become full-fledged members of the Baltimore Police Department. Let me say to the 42 graduates, this is class 1701, 9 of you are Baltimore City residents, 10 have prior military records, 1 actually lived directly across the street from me. I watched him grow up from the age of 10 and on. He actually carried, Commissioner, the flag for me when I became a city councilman. But I know there are many stories sitting down in front of me. But what I want you all to know is that you are about to take on one of the toughest positions in the city. But it is also a very honorable position, because you all are sworn and will be sworn to protect the lives of the citizens of Baltimore. But what we want you to know is that when you leave your homes, your family's hearts, your friends' hearts leave with you. And I want you to know that we all will pray for you every single day. And so families, while you stand here or sit here and witness this milestone in the lives of the loved ones that you trust to lead our city, we ask that you continue to pray as well. Know that we will do everything we can to lift them up and to push them forward. We recognize that they've taken on a great responsibility in a city that has many challenges. But what we want you to know is that we're invested in you. And as the mayor of this city, my commitment is to continue to invest in you, to make sure that this department has the greatest technology of any police department in the country, that we make sure that you have every opportunity to live in our city as well as to work in our city. So parents and friends, you should know that there are tax credits for individuals who are sitting in front of us to buy homes in our city. We're also coming up with tax credits for those who want to rent in our city. We want to protect our young men and women who have chosen this profession to be public servants for the city of Baltimore. We know that you will do it with honor and with pride, and we will respect you as you will respect the members of our communities that you will come in contact with every day. We ask you to make sure that you understand that every individual in this city deserves respect, and we expect our community to show their respect for you. So I applaud you for choosing this profession. More importantly, I look forward to your future. I look forward to your grace. I look forward to your commitment. I bless you. I will pray for you every single day. I look forward to these men and women assuming the positions of police officers in the Baltimore Police Department. And I look forward to saying congratulations when you are fully pledged. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pugh. Next, it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you the Commissioner of the Baltimore Police Department, Commissioner Darrell D. D'Souza.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, sir. You guys ready to graduate? Yes, sir. Sure about that? Yes, sir. I got to ask your parents' permission first. Are they ready to graduate? Yes. Who said no? Stand up, and we're going to make sure they get recycled right here. Whose mom is that right there? Somebody's sister. I can't see that far. So before I get started, I want to just recognize a few more people that's on the stage. I know Councilman Schiffler came up from behind the curtain. He was hiding there. Welcome. And I want to also say that Chief from Anne Arundel County Police is here, Chief Baker, who is a retired Baltimore City Commander. And I'd like to say also on the stage is a mentor of mine for 30 years, one of my mentors. And I hope that you guys will do the same thing that I did as a young officer, as I sat there in your very seat sometime in 1989. I'm giving my age away here. But in 1989, I sat somewhere, D'Souza was probably somewhere right around here, I think it was. So I would really hope that you guys would attach yourself to this greatest command staff. And please give them a hand, because they are the greatest command staff in the country. So I truly hope that not next week or not 2 months from now, not 6 months from now, immediately you attach yourself to one of these commanders here like I did 30 years ago. So on the stage also is my mentor for 30 years, retired police commissioner from the Baltimore City Police Department, and chief of Coppin State University's Lenny Ham. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to make it really clear. First thing I want to talk about is when and now. So when I say when now, you probably think I'm talking about a basketball game or a football game or the Super Bowl or some event that's going to happen sometime next week, right? That's probably what you guys are thinking. And the command staff are probably laughing behind me because they heard the same story many times before. When I say when now, it's 6 letters, WIN. And what does WIN mean? It's an acronym for what's important now. And a lot of teams, you heard it, a lot of teams, NFL, NBA, different places in businesses have it. And what does WIN mean? It means what's important now. And what's important now for you guys right now is that you graduate, that you get your assignments, which is going to be on foot in the community, learning community policing, that you go home each and every day, take that uniform off or on each day, and wear it proudly, embrace your family, tell them each and every day that you love them, but more importantly is that it's your responsibility each and every day to create what I call the pathway to the community with the most integrity, period, with the most reform, period. You are the first group graduating. What I'm saying this message is that we are going to reform this police department to the once great department where it was in the past. And it's your responsibility when you guys hit the streets this week. I know you guys are going to probably be off tomorrow, but you're going to be working Sunday and Monday on foot in the community, and it's your responsibility to win, okay? The second thing is now. So what does now mean?
I can tell you, sir.
All right. It's no opportunity wasted. No opportunity wasted. So when you wear that uniform and you go to your districts or you walk in foot, that everything that you do is the pathway to the community, that every single thing that you do is that you don't waste a single opportunity making a positive relationship to people in the community, the citizens in the community is very critical. And what's more critical is our young men and young women in the community because they need us. So I was away for about 12 months and I did a listening tour when I did a fellowship at the International Association for Chiefs of Police. I came back to Baltimore in April or May, right before school let out, and I did a listening tour. I went to 3 colleges, Coppin State University, Howard University, and University of Baltimore. I went to 3 high schools, and I went to 3 middle schools in Baltimore. And I did a listening tour, and you guys are gonna participate in that same listening tour before you even step foot in a district and step foot in a patrol car. And what does a listening tour mean? It means that you're gonna listen. You're gonna listen to the needs of the community. So I did that with various groups. I spent time with them, young kids, in their own school, listening to their voices. And some of the major takeaways that I got from that is very heartfelt. So when we did this listening tour, we did an icebreaker. And the icebreaker, as they sat down, these young men and young women in high school, and I said to them, and in the middle school, I said to them, please describe to me a safe place. Like, describe your safe place. Where is it? And all the hands went up immediately, and moms and dads and parents back there. And I just want you to think about the same thing also, if I'm asking you, and if I'm doing a listening tour myself, like, describe a safe place. Well, there was a young man that raised his hand, and you know what he said his safe place was? He said his safe place was in heaven. So what that meant to me was that he felt unsafe in his own community. He felt that he probably was in a better place in heaven than on earth here. And you know what? I know you guys aren't counselors. I know you guys don't work in the medical profession. We're police officers, and it's our responsibility to make that young man feel safe here in Baltimore City. The other thing I would say that I took away from that is that in that same icebreaker questions, and grandmas, just stand up or raise your hand for me real quick. Any grandmothers here? There's quite a few. So when we talk to these young kids and we ask them a safe place, they said with their grandmothers. That was the #1 response. Really didn't hear moms a whole lot, but we heard grandmothers. All right, God bless you, grandmoms. So in this listener tour, it was based on 3 questions. Describe the relationship between the police and your community. What do you need from the police? And what particular program do you think would be beneficial in bridging the gap between youth and police? So the first one, when I asked them, describe the relationship with you and the police in your community, you know what the response was? They really didn't have one. That's your responsibility to make that happen. The second thing we asked them was, what do you need from the police? And you know what they said? They want a relationship. But guess what? That's your responsibility to do that. The third thing that we asked the young men and young women was, what particular program or event that you can do, that we can do collectively, that would bridge the gap? And you know what they said? They said they want police to be our mentors. So guess what? You're gonna have a mentor here on this stage by the time this evening is over. And my expectation for you is to embrace a young man or a young woman in Baltimore City and mentor them. Because I'm gonna check back in about 6 months just to make sure you guys have done that. So I gotta give all the respect for Madam Mayor. I think she is the greatest mayor in the US. She's very innovative. I wanna thank her so much for giving me the opportunity to stand here and to represent the Baltimore City Police Department. Ma'am, thank you so much. But I wanna say a couple of things. I've been in this position for 24 days. You guys read the news, right? I know they do. In 24 days, it's been a challenge, but it's the opportunity to grow from it. It's an opportunity. In 24 days, Yeah, we had, unfortunately, 2 police-involved shootings in 24 days. We had 250 individuals that were wanted for either murder, aggravated assault, shooting, burglary, robbery, larceny. In 24 days, these commanders on their stage, their officers made 250 more warrant arrests in 24 days. It's amazing. What also happened in 24 days is that we managed to reduce the homicides by 35%. We managed to reduce the non-fatal shootings by 47%. You guys are gonna have to continue that. Today I met with an organization in my office also in 24 days right before your graduation. It's A Mother's Pride. And it was really touching. I invited them to the graduation. I'm not sure if they're still here, I can't see. But one of the young ladies, she came and she was teary-eyed, and she told me about how she lost her son last year. And when I did a double take, Mel, are you here, Mel? When I did a double take, I realized who she was. When she said her name, I looked a little bit closer, and I won't share her name, but I actually knew her when she was 17 years old. And to see her from the age of 17 and to see her in pain today, it goes to show you that there's a lot of parents, there's a lot of moms, there's a lot of dads. There's a city out there that needs healing, and it's our responsibility to do that. We got to do that every day when we come to work. The last thing I want to talk about, and if they didn't warn you, I do talk a lot. The last thing I want to share is just a couple of things on, I just recently did a command restructure, and the restructure that I did, I'm happy that this restructure is going to drive the police department in the right direction. One thing I need you guys to know immediately that's implemented is what's called an overtime abuse unit, and that's going to get you in trouble. It's going to get you in trouble abusing overtime, because if you watch the news or read the paper or see or keeping up with current events, it's going to get you in trouble. And we are now putting mechanisms in place not to catch the overtime abuse on the back end, but to catch the overtime abuse on the front end. So I want you guys to be well aware of that. The other thing is that you can expect is integrity tests to be done each and every day in the city, just to make sure that we're doing our job properly. The other thing that I implemented right away, it's called the Constitutional and Impartial Policing Unit. And I'm not saying that the men and women standing back there on the stage, on the streets, in any of the districts are doing things incorrectly, but we want to make sure that we have mechanisms in place that we're practicing constitutional policing. And the last thing I want to say is in that 24-day period, well, 2 things. I'll say this first, that there was a house fire. Let me just back up with that 1 second. When I go back to the restructure, I want to say one thing. We're in Black History Month, and I'm a little bit of a historian, just a little bit. I'm going to embarrass this person just really quick, but I'm a bit of a historian. Chief Ham can attest to this story when I say it, but the first African-American female on a police department was in 1937. 1937. Her name was Violet Rose White. She never went any higher than the rank of lieutenant. I have been here 30 years on this police department. Chief Ham has been here way longer than me, and I don't think anyone on the stage has been on the job a little bit longer than I have. But in the Baltimore City Police Department, we have never had an African-American commander that went above the rank of major. We had never had that before. And I'm proud to say that today, I promoted the first African-American female to the rank of lieutenant colonel. Stand up, please. She was a little bit teary-eyed earlier when I gave her the news, so I'll embarrass her a little bit, but she's a great lieutenant colonel. She's going to do fascinating things for you guys. The last thing I want to say is that In my 24 days, there was an unfortunate incident that happened in West Baltimore. It happened on Mount Street. It happened right across the street from the Western District. It was a house fire. It was about 2 weeks ago. And it was fully engulfed. It was the second floor. There were some heroes that really shined from that event. Unfortunately, what happened was there was a 17-month-old baby, 17-month, and a 2-year-old baby that Madam Mayor and myself, we were at the hospital. In front of us, they both perished from this incident. And that's some of the things that we see, and if they didn't teach you this in the academy, you're going to quickly learn to find out that there's going to be some things that's going to touch your heart in a certain way. I wear this Bronze Star really proudly because I remember it wasn't more than 5 months. It wasn't more than 5 months that I got out the police academy on Broadway, and it was a house fire, and I ran in and saved a little baby myself that survived, and a grandfather that survived. And I remember running out the house fire, and I remember my sergeant yelling at me saying, "D'Souza, why in the world did you do that?" Well, that's what I'm supposed to do. And that's what you're all supposed to do. We're supposed to be here to save lives. So I want to say that there's 2 officers here now, and I want you guys to stand up real quick, and I want you to come to the front of the stage. I'm going out of order a little bit. Come on up, Mac. Come on up, Rut. This is Sergeant Rakowski. Come on all the way up, please. Mac and Jenko, but we call you Mac, we know that. And Sergeant Rakowski, we know that there is a process that occurs in a police department, a meritorious award, and there's a board that evaluates heroism, that evaluates great work that the men and women do, that they have done, that you guys are about to do. The process is kind of long and it's kind of drawn out. And I told this to the mayor the night of the fire, and she supported this decision 100%. But I think that when you do an act like you did, and although 2 lives were lost, you did everything possible to save those lives. And because of that, I'm cutting the red tape. There is no long process. And I'm happy to say that today that both of you, along with your lieutenant, and about 11 other officers are going to receive a Bronze Star. Sergeant Rakowski, come on up. Thank you. So the last thing I'll say, and again, y'all know I'm long-winded. The last thing I'll say is that to you guys is that, and to moms and dads and brothers and sisters out there, nephews and any family members and friends, that we have a city that needs our help. We can't operate in silos. We have to knock those silos down. We have to work collectively together, and it's going to start with you guys right here in the seat. And like I tell all of you guys, and I tell command staff to the left, Madam Mayor to the right, and so forth, and you parents out there, that if we don't do this together, if we don't ride together, we're all going to cry together. So let's make Baltimore City the best city possible. Thank you and congratulations to you.
Thank you, Commissioner D'Souza. I would like to take this opportunity to also recognize Ms. Kathy Krieger from the Maryland Police and Corrections Training Commission that's also seated up on the stage. At this time, I would like to introduce Officer Jake Almack. He will be delivering the class address.
Good evening to Honorable Mayor Catherine Pugh, Police Commissioner D'Souza, Academy Commander Major James Roden, BPD command staff, other dignitaries present tonight, ladies, gentlemen, family, and friends. I would like to begin by thanking the staff of the Baltimore City Police Training Academy for dedicating their time and efforts into molding our class into well-trained and highly educated rookie officers. I would also like to thank the field training officers and patrol who assisted us in taking the knowledge and skills we learned in the academy and applied it to the 10-week-long period of practical patrol training, ensuring that we had what it takes to properly safeguard the city of Baltimore. These dedicated individuals have taken their knowledge, experience, and training and have instilled into 1701 the tools necessary to maintain a safe, honorable, rewarding career that we can be proud of. During our time in the academy, we began with almost 60 strangers standing in the parking lot of the training academy, nervous and unsure of what was to be expected over the course of our 9 months of training. We have endured long PT sessions and have discovered that we are able to push past what we thought our limitations as we became physically fit. We sharpened our minds and our understanding of the law through spending numerous hours in study sessions. We also learned of the rich history of Baltimore by visiting several communities and by interacting with citizens while performing several community service projects. We engaged in scenario-based training and learned how to safely operate an emergency vehicle. As a class, we often faced stressful moments and hardships throughout the course of our training, but despite these challenges, we began to exemplify what the academy staff had been teaching us the entire time, which is, it is not about the individual, it is about the team, because alone we can do little, but together we could do so much more. We began to develop a strong sense of camaraderie, cohesion, and pride in our class as a whole. This large group that started out as complete strangers came together to become a family that I feel honored to be a part of. We are all aware of the struggles and personal sacrifices that our chosen profession entails. However, we look forward to being rewarded of a positive influence of the community that we have pledged to serve. Over the course of the 35 weeks, myself and my peers have been through rigorous days of instruction and drills. I speak on behalf of the entire class when I say the days that we walked through the gas chamber, pepper sprayed and tased, were pretty close to the worst days we've all experienced. Despite the brutal pain from the pepper spray, after the effects had worn off, our class joined back together after we could all see again, of course, and we were laughing and talking about the experience with one another, knowing that it created a stronger bond between us. I look around at the men and women of the class 1701 and couldn't be prouder to have stood beside each and every one of you throughout our training. From attempting to avoid hitting bright orange cones at EVOC, to team building exercises such as flipping a gigantic tire across a field as a whole class, to watching Carol perform his best impressions of all of our academy instructors. Our academy experience sure has been memorable. I also cannot forget to mention the countless hours of defense tactics during the summer in the hot gym. We certainly did a lot of praying on those days. As we begin to embark on our next phase of our careers as Baltimore City police officers, I ask all of my fellow classmates to take a moment to look at one another. Remember what we have been through together and how far we have all come from that cold day in March. We have developed unbreakable bonds as we have strived to achieve the common goal of reaching this very moment, the time where we all become officers. May all of you be safe in your endeavors as we hit the streets. Remember to always back each other up, be courageous but compassionate, serve the citizens of Baltimore with dignity and honor, and stay committed to striving to improve the lives of everyone who calls this great city home. In closing, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of my classmates who have served the roles as class commander, squad leaders, and last but not least, our class advisors. Your leadership was essential in ensuring that our class was always in order. Thank you for believing in us. We won't let you down. I would also like to thank the friends and family here tonight supporting all of us as we begin our law enforcement careers. Without all of you providing your love and support, none of this would be possible. Thank you and congratulations to 1701.
Thank you, Officer Almack. The next part of our ceremony is that we take the time to honor some of the individual excellence that the trainees have shown throughout their training. The first award goes to the academic excellence. This is presented to the class member with the overall highest academic average. This award is given to Officer Samantha Collins with an overall average of 91.9. The next award is the Skills Champion. This award is presented to the member with the highest average placement in the categories of defense tactics, physical training, and emergency vehicle operation. The Skills Champion for class 2017-01 with an average of 94.88 is Officer Timothy Zerholski. The next award is the Firearms Champion. This is presented to the member with the highest overall average during firearms training. The Firearms Champion for class 2017-01 with an average of 99.1 is Officer Jack Boyd. Next, I wish to present the Police Commissioner's Award of Excellence. This award is based upon academic achievement, professional attitude, appearance, ability to supervise, and those characteristics that comprise the professional police officer. The training staff selects this member with whose most reflects those attributes. The Police Commissioner's Award for Excellence for class 2017-01 is awarded to Quanshay McKenzie. The next award is the Cassidy Award. Agent Cassidy, could you please stand? On October the 22nd, 1987, Agent Cassidy approached a person he believed had committed an assault. While conducting an interview, the subject drew a weapon and fired. Agent Cassidy was wounded and blinded as a result of his injuries. He chose not to become a victim. He returned to York College, earned a second degree in education, and has since earned a master's degree from Johns Hopkins. Agent Cassidy returned to Baltimore Police Department, where he continues to serve as academy instructor even till to this day. This award is presented to the member who has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to professionalism and the ability to motivate and inspire others. Members of Class 2017 selected the recipient of this award. The Cassidy Award for 2017-01 goes to Officer Delira Rojas. The last award is the Director's Award. The Director's Leadership Award is awarded to the member of the class who has shown outstanding leadership qualities. The class commander is assigned a daunting task of leading their class in all aspects of academy training, from their class first arrival to the police academies to the time of their graduation. In recognition of his tireless and unwavering dedication, the Director's Leadership Award is given to Officer Thomas Hertz. Yes, sir. No, yeah, you say Bob. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the part of the program long sought and well earned. Class 1701 has officially ended their entry-level training and transitioned from police officer trainee to police officer. Commissioner D'Souza, it is my honor and privilege to present to you Class 1701. I'm now requesting the certificates of graduation to be presented to the members of the class of 1701 as they are designated police officers. Family and friends are invited forward to take photographs.
Police Officer Jake Almock. Police Officer Samantha Collins. Police Officer Timothy Zuhowski. Police Officer Jack Boyd. Police Officer Quan Shea McKenzie. Police Officer Delira Rojas. Police Officer Thomas Hers. Police Officer Brian Acosta Lopez. Police Officer Lenson Agela. Police Officer Timothy Bardzik. Police Officer Erica Bumbry. Police Officer Raymond Burgos. Police Officer Leighton Burks. Police Officer Keith Buston. Police Officer Timothy Carroll.
I see you, Tim.
Police Officer Ian Chevrolet Jr. Police Officer Nikos Centron Estrada. Police Officer Jean Calazo Morales. Police Officer Robert Cuchero. Police Officer Timothy Diambra. Police Officer Nicholas Dente. Police Officer Elvin Echeverria Rivera. Police Officer Ariel Font.
Yeah. Safe as sitting.
Police Officer Aaron Hellman. Police Officer Matthew Henry. Police Officer Daniel Jensen. Police Officer Richard Clocko. Police Officer Clayton Leak. Police Officer Leonel Lopez. Okay. Police Officer Jose Melendez Ortiz. Police Officer Reagan Miller. Police Officer Kiwani Padilla Santos. Police Officer Andrew Rago. Police Officer Michael Rivera. Police Officer Carlos Rivera Cuevas. Police Officer Jose Roman. Police Officer Abdel Salcido. Police Officer Alberto Samuel Velez. Police Officer Lamar Wilson. Police Officer Drake Winky. Police Officer Devin Yancey. Sir. Representing Coppin State University, William Wilkes. Representing Annapolis Police Department, Stephen Black. Officer Matthew Bodmer. Police Officer Nancy Moore. And Police Officer Eric Wilson.
Class, left, peace. Raise your right hand.
Repeat after me. I. State your name. Swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States. And that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of Maryland and support the Constitution and laws thereof. I will, to the best of my skill and judgment, diligently, with partiality or prejudice, execute the office of law enforcement officer according to the Constitution and laws of the state of Maryland.
Order.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony for this evening. I would like to invite Chaplain Police Reverend Selwyn Ray to the front to give the benediction.
Command, detail, attend. Class, uncover. 2.
Let us be of one mind and heart as we depart this place. Merciful Father, the very God that gives us breath in our lungs, in the movement of our limbs, and even the circulation of blood right now. We ask you to look upon this class 1701 as they move out from this place of graduation onto and into the streets of Baltimore. We ask you to cover them with perfect grace and mercy and even wisdom so that they bring that unity that we referenced earlier in a prayer. But most of all, we ask them, as the class address that Jake made, to be courageously compassionate as they touch the people of Baltimore. Go with us, keep us, and thank you for the family that gathered today. And again, bless the leadership again and again and again as we take this beautiful city into a new level of existence. In your precious name we do pray, and together we say, amen.
Command, class, detail, covers. 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you remain in the auditorium until the graduates and command staff have departed. We will be having light refreshments down in the atrium. You are asked to proceed there once the graduates and command staff have left the auditorium. Thank you.